Welcome back to the channel. For a Bruner review today, I've got my new stove. So I'm really excited about this one. Something I wanted for a long time, and it arrived in the post yesterday. So let's get it out. I haven't even opened it, so let's get it out and show you how it comes in the post.
Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle. Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle.
But it comes in an envelope which is marked up with their stuff, their products, you know, their company name. So we'll do an unboxing and then we'll set it up and do a little brew on it, and might do a bit of cooking. Show you all the features of this stove and the information, because I've been doing some research on it and I've been reading up about it. And I don't want to do anything like people say they warp, but it only warps if you don't use it correctly. I'm sure of that, because there's a manual, believe it or not, there's a manual on how to use the stove. Now I've looked at it, I will put it up in the video at some point, but there'll be links in the description for you to have a look at as well. So if you use it correctly, it should last you for the rest of your life, and hand it over as well to other people. So let's get it out of the packet and have a look at it. Right then, let's tear it out. It's got a tear strip on it by the look of it. We can burn this as well later. So it's nice. I should say this is the XL Bushbox XL combination kit. Oh, got some stuff in there. All you need for Bushcraft. That's a sticker by the look of it. Bushcraft Essentials, all you need for Bushcraft. Info about the shop, Facebook. Oh. So, info. It's in German, but you go on their site, they've got stuff in English as well. Put them down there for now. So it comes in the Cordura bag. You've got 2 loopholes to put on a belt or a bag or anything. You've got a eye on there, a D-ring, which is, this is heavy stitched as well, so it's good. It weighs, from what I've read, 800 grams. I'll put all that info in as well. So it's not the lightest of stoves, but this is the stainless steel. They do a titanium version, which is a lot lighter, but I didn't get the titanium, I got the stainless. Velcro fastening. The combination kit comes with the universal grill grate. So this is universal because you can use it to grill on, and you can also use it to rest the trangia on and have your alcohol stove to use that inside it as well. But there's another option for the alcohol stove, which I'll show you both. Now here's the stove itself. Let's just check there's nothing else in there. No. So let's have a look at the stove. It says bushcraftessentials.com, made in Germany. It's quite thin. You've got 2 trivets that are attached to the back. You can buy 2 extras that are fit into these slots. So let's open it up. This is the best thing about it, is the oh, something's fell out. It's a card. Oh, that's cool. There's a card in there, and it's got a link to where the manuals are, so you can go on their website and find the manuals to show you how to use it properly, the correct use of your stove. That's pretty cool. Right then, so let's pop it open. It should open up pretty easy and quick. Look at that. Trivet fell off. Open. Done. That's quite sturdy as well. So you've got your ash pan, which is the bottom one to catch your ash, and then you've got your fire grate, which is above it for your wood, coals or whatever you're burning on top, and then your ash will fall down, and you've got that little gap, lets air flow in as well, and there's loads of airflow around it. There's your feed hole, there's your top. I'll put up a image now to show you all these features and the specs and the weights. Yeah, so this image, you can pause it and keep a look on it, so you know there's a lot of info on there, so you can see what's going on, or we'll come back to it later. So I'm not going to go through talking to you about all the features because you can see them on the image. So there's a trivet. I've got some pegs I want to put in these holes and see if they fit in, because the holes look quite small, but then my pegs aren't massive. Right, I've got the GoPro. I'm honest, the GoPro is about 5 inches away from this thing, because GoPro gives you a big look. It's not massive. This is the Bushcraft XL. Personally, if you go smaller than this, you're going to have trouble feeding these things. I know the LF has got a good rating, but personally, this is small enough for me. It's not massive. So don't let people say to you it is, because it's called XL, it doesn't mean it's massive. Right, this is the whole kit you can see now. 2 trivets, universal grill plate, the Bushbox XL and the Bushcraft Essentials pouch for the XL. Right, let's have a look at the trivets. The way they work, they just sit into the top, but there's different combinations. Which is sitting across. They've got little grooves in them, cutouts, so they can fit into the slots. And once they're on, it stabilises the unit really well, because it's giving it a solid structure, even though it is stable, and you're not going to be moving it around. But again, saying that, the trivets are designed to do that. You can lift up your box with a trivet when it's hot, or even in working order, and move it. But I think you're supposed to use 2 because it'll twist. So, that's so. You can lift this thing up and move it around, even when it's running. The universal grate, there's slots for this to go into on the top, and then it'll slot in. Yeah, it grooves into it like a hinge, and then it'll sit in there. It shouldn't fall out when you're lifting stuff on and off, but we'll test it. The trivets also can be put in at a different angle. They can be pushed through here, and they come out of the other side in the same slots I'll show you, and then you can put your trangia rested inside, which I'm going to check now because I've got a trangia. So I've got the stove here. It should fit just perfectly between these trivets and then sit in there, and it has. It's perfectly in there, as you can see from here. It fits in lovely. So for height, as you can see, there's different slots, so you can change the height of this. You can raise it up. I've got some pegs here. And there's holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So these pegs should be able to push through. I'll tell you the dimension of the hole. I haven't measured it, but I will do. And I'll put it up on the screen, so you know how big your pegs need to be. And I'll tell you the dimension of my pegs. So you can put 4 pegs through this way, so you can sit a smaller pot or a cup, and then you can grill on. You could probably grill on that, put a bit of meat on there, put a big piece, and then you've got options to go this way. Now, will it go at the same time? Yes, it goes underneath. So you've got yourself a proper little sturdy 4-way to sit something on. Not too bad, eh? I like that. But anyway, I'm not going to use them today. So let's raise up. Right, so I've gone for the middle option on this, because that'll give me about an inch from the top of alcohol stove, which is about right if you want to boil, because it gives you enough room to get a good flare coming up. So that's how that works. Now let's try the universal grate. On these Trivets, you've got these two with little indents, and how to help it clip into this, so that'll push in like that. Hope you're getting a view of that and the light isn't reflecting too much. And then they'll clip in like this, and they sit in there and they'll stay in there when it's packed. So they're cool. So we'll leave them there for now. The universal grate has these little lugs on it. It's the same on both sides, so you can't go wrong with how you fit it. In the front of the box, there's two holes down here, so you just place it in them holes. And then let it go, and it should slot into some slots at the back, like that. Then your trangia can sit on there, and it's about the same height, again about 1 inch away. So that's perfect. Or you can use other devices for heating, as long as you've got a good distance to your burn top where your pan will be. But the reason I got this stove, I'll tell you why. It's expensive. It is expensive. The combination kit was £85. But the main reason I got it is the design. You're not paying for the metal, you're not paying for the size, you're not paying for that. You're paying for the design, and the design is fantastic. I'll talk about design, and I'll tell you what's good about it. It's not faffing about with the individual pieces and building it. So you want to take it apart, you tip it up, and it will just collapse down and it'll be done. Even if a trivet comes out, they're so easy to put back in. That's the design. So let's have a close look at this hinge system, because I've seen lots of videos on this and I have no idea how these hinges work, because nobody shows it. And I wanted to know, because you're buying something, you want to know why it's expensive. So I'm going to take some photos, because the camera, I'm going to put it in there. I don't know how well you're going to see it though. If it's not great, I'll take some photos to back it up. I'm about 1/2 inch away, so I don't even know if I've got focus on this. But I'm going to take some in deep photo so you can really see what's going on. It's a great design. When you keep things simple, you end up with good stuff. It's not over-engineered, it's well-engineered. So it's definitely a good system. And all the features it does. Right, let's have a look at how this ash pan falls in. It's attached to the box via the same hinge system. So all it does is collapse and fall into the slot. Like that. And the same with the bottom one, but it collapses the other way. So it will collapse down from one side and the other one will collapse from the other side. So if you let it go, it'll fall in. Let that one go, it'll fall in. And that's how quick and easy it is. Great, it's a fantastic design. Well, let's get the trangia on and get a ball going, because I want to get a brew on. I am going to take this from flat, out of its packet, set it up, get the trangia running, and put the kettle on it. And we'll see how quick it is. That's what the important thing is. Why is it designed well? Because it's quick and easy. Right, open it up, set it up, and see how quick it is. That's the box set up. Need it semi-level to do a boil, not perfectly level, it doesn't really matter. Put this in. Done. Trangia. Open that up. Try not to spill it everywhere. Centre in the middle. Lighter. . 'Cause 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 lit. Kettle, small kettle from Trangia, so I feel like I need the Trivets on there because it's not a big kettle. Don't forget this also stabilises it. On. That's how quick and simple it is to set the system up. None of them panelled stoves where you've got to build it. Not that everyone's in a rush, but the design is amazing. I have to give credit to that design. That is crazy design. It's brilliant. Really well thought. And them hinges are all part of the panel. They're not separate. It's just metal that's been pressed and twisted to create the hinge. So it's all part of the panel. Stainless steel, strong. Excellent. This is the first running of the stove for me as well. That's how quick it was to set up. I haven't got a windshield, as you can see, so this is using its own sides as a windshield. Just check the time. Put a cup of water in there. It's 9 minutes to 1, so we'll see what that's like on a boil. Not that I'm doing a boil test, but I haven't got a windshield on it, so it's nice to see. But it's looking good. And seems that heat is blowing this way, I'm going to move the kettle a bit that way to capture some of it, some more of it to say. You can't tell the angle, but I'll put you level and show you the angle I've got this running at. Right, you're level, and that's the angle of the stove, as you can see. It's not level at all, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Feel the heat coming up, that's for sure. I'm impressed, really impressed with this. Let's get this brew going and I'll get back to you. And I'm going to put a steak on the grill, on the universal grill, because that's what I've brought out as well. But I need to collect some wood. So I'm going to go and collect some wood and show you what the manual recommends. A small fire, you don't need anything really thicker than your thumb. And I also wanted to say about this, when you purchase a stove usually, you've got to buy the fuel, either it's gas or alcohol, whatever you're burning, biofuels, you're paying for fuel. With this system, you pay once. So it's expensive, but in the long run, your fuel is free. It's all free. So you're getting your money back, you're clawing it back slowly. Just that you've got to use it. Don't buy it and stack it, use it. I'll be using this because this is going to be a best friend to me. Really enjoying it already. Looking good. Well, let me go and cut some wood. Been running for 5 minutes. So I'm going to get some coffee in because I've got real coffee today. Some coffee in the filter without trying to get it in the cup because I know what I'm like. Because I didn't bring well, I've got a spoon, but I'm not going to get it out just to pour coffee in. Right, that can come off. I want to see how hot those Trivets are to handle. I've got a glove because anytime I use real fire I carry gloves. Well, this isn't real fire, but I've got a metal surface I'm going to touch. You need to hold it with something. So a damp cold leaf. Because don't forget, the heat's been blowing over to this side of the trivet as well, so these are warmed up a bit. And they're pretty warm, especially that one. See how hard it is to get a top in there to put it out. Easy. Very easy to put that out. So that's the brew brews on, brews running. Now all I've got to do is go and cut some wood. Get you down there. Now I'm going to just put the wood in. I've got meths because I'm using the trangia, so I'm going to be using that as my lighting source. So get you down there and let's get it built and get it done. Get it going and get the stake on. That's what we've got to test now. We're on the floor now, so I'm going to put some small stuff in. And I mean small, I've been snapping this up with my hands. I mean, it's just dead dry. I've battened down some of this because it's quite a hard wood, so I want the catch. If you batten it down, you end up with more surfaces to catch when it first starts. So all I'm doing is going to throw in a little bit of this and just sort of, I'll show you in a sec. It's like a wiggle pile up, a little bit of a pile. There's little gusts of breeze here, nothing major. Fire preparation is more key to getting a fire working than just trying to build one. You've got to prep it. So let's have a look in there. So that's what I've got. I'll put some meths on that and light the meths. And then just start feeding it. I have a little stick there. That's going to be my lighting stick. So I'm going to dip that in my meths to show you. Dip that in my meths to get me some meths on it to light it. Pour some meths onto the wood. Get a lighter out. You know, I like to show you my tips and tricks and techniques. Sandy showed me this one. So that's lit. It was lit. It's gone out, so let's get that a bit more meths on there. Now that's lit. Let's get you back over and so you can see it. Hopefully this will all catch now. Let's get some wood on there. I'm not going to throw too much on at once because I don't want to rage an inferno, but I want coals. That's starting to burn down nice, so I want some coals, and I've got these little thicker bits I can put on, and I can start getting the steak on. So I don't really want it infernoed in that. I'll start prepping the steak. I've got my steak seasoning over there. I love my steak seasoning. The old steak seasoning. And there's the Bushbox. Still got some coffee there. Right, let that go down to a bit where I want to start cooking on because it's too vicious. I'll show you it now. You can't cook on that. You'll just kill it. You'll just burn all your food. Let it boil, let it burn down, and I'll get some on it. Get some nice coals in there, and we'll get a cook on. I've just seasoned up the steak. I'll show you that. There it is with the seasoning on it. There's the knife. This is the steak. Irish beef rump steak. Now we've got a good bed of coals in there. It's taken 10 minutes to get that bed of coals. So I'm going to put the grate on now. Using my tongs. There it is. And now we're going to put the steak on, because I've got a bit of flame, which only a little bit, and it's dying down. So look at that. I didn't let that plate get hot, but I'm not that fussed about that. Searing it, it's going to sear anyway. It's going to slow cook. Now all I'm going to do is feed little bits on at a time. It is 1:36 now, the time. I'm not going to film the whole of this cooking. My batteries are low, so I'll just show you what I'm going to do. As you can see in there, it's just a coal bed really with some flame. So I'm going to throw in a smallish stick. I mean, that's not even, that's little finger size stick. I'm going to throw that in. Just keep it fed like that. That's all I'm going to do. This is the way you're supposed to use the stove, because I've read the manual. You're going to get discolouring obviously, and you're going to get some change in the metals because you're heating them and then cooling them and heating them. One thing you should never do is douse your stove with cold water after use, because you want to pack it away quick. This stuff cools down anyway, because you're just going to really warp your metal if you do that. And it's not because it's a stove, it's because it's metal. Metals has properties that change, so you've got to look at how you should treat it. But that's looking good, isn't it? Bring you back when I get a bit further on the cook. Right, I'm just feeding in little sticks. I'm getting the flames, then they die down, then I put more little sticks in. It's smelling good. I haven't turned it yet. How long has it been on? 4 minutes. It's probably going to start sticking. It's smelling good. Give it a good flame in, because these flames aren't licking up high, but the heat's there. It's good. Here's my little wood pile. I've been replenishing the wood pile as it goes down. It's a low impact. As you can see, there's not much smoke because the heat's there. As long as you keep your heat, you don't get the smoke. But as you put on too much, it will just smoke its head off. That's ready for more sticks. Have a look in, they're burning down. So let's just load it up a bit more. There's a biggish one. That'll take. There's some small stuff. They're only small. And we'll leave that, and that'll catch, and then it'll flare up again, give me another sear, and then it'll just die down again. The other thing we've got to do is make sure our ashtray isn't getting full, because if it fills up, we end up losing our airflow. So I'll get one of the Trivets. You could use a stick for this. Try and get you down there, and we'll try and clear this to make sure it's not full up. Just scrape out any ash that's fallen, just to keep our airflow going. That's it, that's all you have to do. And as you can see, our flames are coming up now from them sticks, and we're getting the searing again. But it's so simple. One thing it says on the manual, don't use this as a heater, so don't cram it full of sticks to keep you warm at night or if it's cold out. It's not designed for that. You'll damage it. I know everyone on the videos, you see them doing it, but there is a manual. Just read the manual, and then you can't moan and whine that it's broken or it's warped because you've been using it wrong. Everything has its intended purpose and use. So you stick by them guidelines and you get a problem, then you can complain. But it's looking good. Really pleased with it. It's looking good. Smelling good. Sounding good. Yeah, so I'm letting it die down to about here. Then I'm loading it up with a few twigs. Nothing major. That's it. Then just leave it and that'll catch. Looking good. Let that catch, let it sear, and then I'm going to flip it and let it sear a bit on the other side. It's only had one turn so far, and it's been on there 10 minutes. But yeah, it's really good design cooker, this. You treat it well, it'll treat you well. There's enough airflow going under it and through the little gaps to keep this running. I know I'm not in a big wind area, and if I was and it was windy, I'd put a windshield around it just to protect it a bit so I don't have too much. It's catching again now, it's coming up, the flame. Would that take a minute to come back up? And the other thing about having a roaring fire is you get ash coming out everywhere, and the ash will just go into your pots, it'll go everywhere, whereas you're not seeing any ash rays in here. If there's ash coming up, it's very, very small. So I'm going to let this sear for about 20 seconds. I'm going to turn it. I always forget something when I come out. I didn't forget any of the checklist, I didn't forget any of the food, any of the items I need. I forgot the 2 extra batteries for the camera. So I'm running on 1 battery, which was going to run out. It's on 30%. So this time, luckily, I've got 2 phones on me, and they both have power to record if I run out. But I don't want to record on them unless I have to. That's stuck. That's a thick bit of steak as well. Yeah, I'm loving it. I've got another bit of steak still in there, but I might cook it. I can cook it and take it home. It's too much to eat. When that dies down, I'll do the same again. I'll throw some small twigs on and let it come back up. Loving it. Loving it, people, loving it. Right, it's died down a bit. Now I want to cut it. I want to see how this is looking. Don't be afraid to cut your meat before you think it's done, because you just don't know until you've tried it. That's flaky. Just pink, so that's done. That can come off, and I'll put the other one on. Super soft. It's a thick bit of meat, that. So I'm cleaning it now, cleaning the soot off and all the food residue. This grate was black, but now I've built, well, not built, I've thrown a little bit more twiggage in there, and it's a little bit higher. As you can see, the flames, it just burns off all of the residues. Hopefully it'll take most of the soot off in there, and that way I can get some leaves when it's cold and just wipe off the excess and have a clean stove for packing away. So yeah, the Bushcraft Essentials Bushbox XL. Excellent stove. Lovely. The heat coming off that, just that size fire, is lovely. Well, like I say, my battery's dying because I forgot them, because I forget something every time. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the review, and please subscribe if you haven't already, or give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. If you didn't enjoy it and you don't think it's a good review, just give me a thumbs down. But it's nice if you tell me why you give me a thumbs down, because then I can improve the next video. Because I always find that negative comments are positive, because I can turn them around and improve what I'm doing. So thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.